You can honestly make the argument that persecution is not the greatest threat to the believer. It's actually prosperity, because for every 100 believers that can withstand persecution, there's a much, much smaller pool that can actually inherit prosperity and still keep God on the right throne. The future component of the Sabbath is really straightforward. Revelation 14:13 is the best explanation. Blessed are those who die in the Lord from now on. They will rest from their labor, for their deeds follow them. Essentially, those who die to their old man, those who die to their flesh, those who die to their works, they will receive what's called rest, which is again just inheriting this concept of God's perfect creation. But the present tense concept of God's rest is largely forgotten, and I think it's because most people don't even know that it exists. Notice that Hebrews chapter 4 verse 1 says the promise of entering his rest still stands. And it's also clear in Hebrews 4 verse 3 that the currency for entering God's rest is faith. Now we who have believed enter that rest just as God had said. And throughout the Gospels, Jesus reminds us that he is Lord of the Sabbath. So what exactly does that mean for us today? If you've never heard of this concept called the inheritance of the righteous, the fullness of life, the Zoe life, allow me to explain what that means. The Zoe life is a place where you go to find rest from your works, and in this place is where you find purpose, it's where you find fulfillment, and it's where you find peace. Notice how Ephesians chapter 2:10, a book in the New Testament, references Genesis chapter 2 verse 3, a book in the Old Testament. We are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared for us in advance for us to do. The present tense concept of the Sabbath is not a day that we observe, it is a posture that we observe. It is a posture of complete submission to God as ruler and sovereign author of your life in all different aspects, your career, your finances, your relationship, your ministry, you name it. The better we get at practicing this posture of submission, the more we get to enter into what's called God's rest and experience the fullness of God in several different dimensions of our lives. I point out Hebrews 4:3 again because the currency to enter here is simply just faith. Let me close off with this. The same faith that you use to purchase your freedom from the shackles of death is not the same faith that you use to purchase your entrance into God's rest. This is why the Israelites had enough faith to leave Egypt, but they didn't have enough faith to enter into Canaan. Again, Hebrews 4 verse 1.